Hello, and welcome to another dose of spiritual clarity. Today we are talking about when you make your failures permanent. Now, this is part of the 3P series. If you haven't seen the first two Ps, go back and watch those. Those are about making your failures personal and then making your failures pervasive. So go back and watch those. This third one is about making your failures permanent. Now, it's really easy to do that because we look at the world outside of us and the world within us sometimes, and things don't seem to change. Or the more things change, the more they stay the same. We've all heard that little gem of advice in the past. But that can become a belief. So we see that happening out in the world, where we see, in politics, the more things change, the more they stay the same. Or they just stay the same. They don't even change at all. They just stay exactly the same. Or the rich keep getting richer, or the poor stay poor. All those things that we hear maybe when we're kids or we see in movies, and then we observe them out in the world or in our own lives. And then we begin to form beliefs about it. So it'd be fine if we could just observe those things and observe them without making any judgments or any decisions or making any decisions about them. But that's not what our brain does. And that's not what our energy does. What our brains and our energy do is they want to simplify our life. And they want to keep us safe. So they see things not changing and they say, oh, things never change. In this reality, things never change. So I've got to adapt to that, and I've got to be ready for things never changing because they never change. But our beliefs create our reality. That's what all my work is based on. If you followed my work at all, or even if you're brand new to that, you may have heard that before, that our beliefs create our reality. And I've experienced that in my life, and my clients have 100,000 times as well. So if that's true, then when you're observing the reality out around you that things never change, and then deciding and declaring that things never change, you've taken a little observation, and now it's snowballed into a big belief. And now that belief can start to run your life. So, the belief, here's a clearing question for you. The belief that the more things change, the more they stay the same. Would you be willing to destroy that at the point of creation? Whew. Now, that's in the world outside of us. Then there's the world inside of us. And this is only important if you want to be happy and successful. If you don't want to be happy and successful and fulfilled, just ignore all this. But the world inside of us, so that's where our fulfillment comes from, because we could have nothing really happening for us out in the world, but inside we can feel very fulfilled with our life and the way that our life is going. But when a failure happens or a negative circumstance happens, and we make it personal, it's all about us, it was our fault, we make it pervasive, that it's not just that area of life, it's my whole life. And then we make it permanent, that it's always going to be this way, that I can never change it, that no matter what I do, things won't change, or this won't change. Then we're really sticking it into our internal lives, not just observing it out in the world, but now we've made it about our lives as well. So now we're doubly screwed. It's not just the world that will never change, it's us that will never change. And I know I used to have this belief. This was locked in. And one of the things that started to shift it, this is before I really got deeply into energy healing. It was when I was still just a life coach and I was still just fascinated with the brain. But it started to shift things. And I see now that energetically, it opened up some new mental doorways. So I'm going to share it with you as well. And it was the idea that our brains, so a little bit of context. I was in a coaching program. And I was saying that it doesn't matter what I do, I still keep screwing things up. That doesn't matter what I do, I can't seem to change myself. Not just the world or my results, but myself. And I had a very wise person who was very, very adept at neuroscience and had studied neuroscience for a long time, that shared with me that the brain changes so rapidly that to say that you're the same person with the same failures and you can't escape those failures or your patterns of failure, personal failure, to say that even over the course of 3 months, 6 months is very ignorant, because the brain changes so quickly that in many ways you have a whole new brain within 6 months. And don't quote me on the 6 months. I don't know for sure it was exactly 6 months. We're just going to play with that number. But that our brain changes so rapidly that to say you're still the same person is completely wrong. It's not accurate. So you can let that belief go. And that was actually the beginning of me letting that belief go. Is before energy clearing, before energy work, I started to realize that I was the one that was recreating these beliefs. I was the one making them permanent. So if we stop making them personal, we stop making them pervasive, which means they're everywhere, and we can lighten up and say, well, this happened this time, but it's not always going to be like this. Or it might not always be like this. We can have some freedom to create what we really want. So if you would like more of this, we have a program coming up on October 10th. It's called Clearing Self-Doubt. Would love to have you join. It's going to be awesome. We're going to go through these 3 Ps. We're going to dive deep. We're going to clear a whole bunch of beliefs. And we're going to really open up those mental doorways, those energetic doorways, so you can create something new in your life. Because as you let go of that self-doubt, what else could you create? What else could be possible? So we'll see you on October 10th. Thank you so much. Please like this Spiritual Clarity business page so you can see more of these videos. And we will see you soon on another dose of Spiritual Clarity. Have a great day. Bye-bye.